empaths. Happy Friday. This is day 5, 30 days of courage, visibility, and angel medicine. My name is Jill Kempner, angel coach, alchemist, and author of Receiving from Your Angels. And I'm here to serve earth angels, those highly sensitive, highly intuitive souls, empaths, and cycle breakers, those who are here to end the cycle once and for all. And, not only for yourself, but your family and your lineage, and to take all of the gifts, the gems, and the medicine from that pain, from that wound, and turn it into your wisdom, your medicine. I'm actually going to turn my thingy back off. Yeah, because it turns off at 8. So hopefully that didn't mess this up. Okay. And it's been a very busy day, so I can't believe it's 8 o'clock. I worked, I ran errands, we were settling stuff for my cat. She is on the mend, and she'll be coming home tomorrow evening. So I wanted to keep telling my story, and I always wonder where to start. So I'm hopping on where I had sort of ended last time. And really what I'm sharing are are initiations. And that was I kept hearing that word, and then I was like, oh, that's what they want me to talk about, right? So initiation is a challenging or difficult or painful experience that you went through that takes you to another level of awareness, another level of consciousness. And so there are many initiations in my life, and I talked about in the first day 1 about my traumatic childhood, and then the death of my father at a young age, and how I got into the healing arts very young. I was only 18 when I decided to enter massage school. And, the healing art, at the time I didn't know the healing arts were for me to heal. But that was absolutely what my soul knew would get me through the future initiations that I was going to navigate and experience in this lifetime. So, after my dark night of the soul, which was the time that I experienced, just a lot of heavy emotions. Thank you. It was PTSD, right? I had PTSD from my childhood that wasn't diagnosed, that wasn't being treated, and it landed me in the psych hospital. The time after the psych hospital was my dark night of the soul. And like I mentioned in day 1, Reiki was the light at the end of the tunnel. And I actually took Reiki and Reiki training level 1, 2, and 3 in massage school as an elective. But I wasn't committed to the practice until after. I wasn't committed to a daily practice. I wasn't really using it. It was more sporadic. It didn't become daily until I met my spiritual teacher. So, I had this breakdown that became a breakthrough, right? So the psych hospital, the dark night of the soul, was a huge initiation for me to reset my energy and recalibrate to ultimately being devoted to letting my soul lead my journey rather than, my wounded parts, my managers, even my exiles. And I'll talk more about parts as we go. So the dark night of the soul led me to my Reiki practice, and it really led me to that commitment of practicing every day. I started with meditation and self-energy work, and then my practice evolved, and I began to add more of the angelic energy, angel cards, I added crystals, and I just kept figuring out what resonated with me. So I was a young mom, And I was a working mom, I was a massage therapist, a yoga teacher. I was studying energy medicine. I was finding, a new footing after I was recovering from PTSD. And I was using a daily practice along with building a team of people to support me. And actually, what I love to do is be on, thank you for the hearts. I love to be on someone's team, right? So you have your body workers, you have your therapist, and then you have your angel coach, Jill Kempner, supporting you in alchemizing the pain into peace. And so in 2015, I tore my knee. Another initiation and story I talk about in my book was tearing my knee, my ACL. And then it was a stressful way that it happened. I won't go into the details of it right now, but I tore my knee, and obviously that was hard, right? I mean, my job was my body. I was a massage therapist, a yoga teacher, and every kind of thing came to a halt. And in that time of the halt, where I had to have surgery and then the recovery, and it was a very long process, and it was painful and all the things. During that time, I really had to commit to my practice, and I had to relax because there were days that was all that I could do. And what was interesting is when I would take the time to relax, I would get like an intuition or a download or like an angelic message. And I was like, wow, like I'm getting so many more insights, than when I was like running around like crazy and then, tearing my knee. So I started to realize one of the things that I talk about now, which is that relaxation is the gateway to angelic pain relief. At the time, I didn't know that or honor it, or like really, I didn't honor that was my medicine, right? I had a gift at being able to relax people. And it was during that hardship, during that difficulty of tearing my knee, that I reclaimed a part of my own medicine. So after tearing my knee, I went back to work too soon. I tore my shoulder. And I knew my body was saying, like, you're almost at 20 years of massage. It's time to retire. It's time to evolve. And it was a scary, stressful time, but I made it through to the other side. I committed to cherishing my body, which is practice number 2 in my book. Relax and cherish your body. And of course, I could have kept giving massages and pushing through the pain and all the things. And I did for, about a year and a half. And then I was like, okay, I've got to make this change. I got to take this leap of faith into, and thank goodness, into this new field. I didn't even know. Now I'm an angel coach. I'm an alchemist. I'm an author. But at the time, I didn't know I was going to do all this. I knew that energy work would be involved, but I just had no idea how that was going to play out. And so, yeah, I'm proud of myself. This is year 9. I actually started my angel coaching business in 2017, and I retired in 2018 because that was my 20 years of massage. So like I said, I pushed through that year and still gave massages. It was like a weird, I'm giving some massages, but I started the angel coaching. I was kind of doing both as a transition into full-time energy healing. And 9 years later, I have built a, really beautiful practice of helping people, angel coaching practice of helping people receive love from their angels. And not only to receive love from your angels, but to heal that pain, whether it's PTSD, chronic pain, autoimmune issues, the cancer journey, whether the pain is physical or emotional, with the relax, release, receive process that I outline in my book. And I'm telling you, it works. I am one of those teachers. I am one of those leaders that walks the walk, walks the talk, right? I'm showing up every day. I'm working the medicine on myself. So I know when I share it with my clients, when I apply it to what my clients are going through, they're getting results. They're getting relief because I know it works because I did it on myself and for myself. So I've been in the healing process of healing my shoulder pain. I mean, I was actually completely out of pain for years. It does flare. It's kind of one of those things that will flare up at times. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is like a bowel issue, an inflammatory bowel issue, in 2019, and I'd be happy to say that I am medication free. I've actually never been on medication for Crohn's disease. I've been managing it through diet, exercise, healthy eating, supplements, and the relax, release, receive process. So it is possible to honor the body's truthful wisdom, to honor the messages and the medicine that is in the pain. And that's what I do with my clients. You know, we take that pain, we look at it through the eyes of love, and we understand both the deeper meaning of the pain and the higher purpose of the pain. And really understanding that the pain is part of the divine curriculum that you set up to grow, to heal, to ascend. And I know, and I say this with ultimate compassion, deep, deep, deep compassion, because sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, right? Like, why would I sign up for all of this trauma? And trust me, I think the same thing. I used to think the same thing all the time as well, until I just really kept calling my power back, that I am the keeper of my mind and body, that my soul loves me unconditionally, and that every challenge, every difficulty, every hardship, and there's been many on many, many levels. This year has not been free of it either. No mistake, right? But the commitment, right? The devotion to staying in the flow of my angel's love, to relaxing, releasing, and receiving every single day, to devoting and like choosing a fuel, committing to that fuel, embodying that fuel. This week, my fuel was spiritual relaxation. And holy cow, did I have to practice releasing control, surrendering to a higher power, and still trusting that Spirit has my back, that the angels have my back. So I hope that resonates. I felt like there was a little part. Okay. I wasn't sure if I would tell this part. So I'm gonna like plant the seed of it. I don't know if I'll come back and circle back around to this story over the weekend, because I have some really fun plans. I'm actually gonna be out of town, but I'll talk about that tomorrow. So, you know, after tearing my knee and, you know, retiring from massage and becoming an angel coach, I went through another initiation, right? Because oftentimes souls that want to experience a lot of growth in one life will choose multiple challenges to overcome, to heal, to alchemize. And so in 2018, my brother was in a traumatic car accident, and he pretty much died and came back to life. And I wrote about this in practice number 4 of my book, Receive and Trust Your Intuition. It's called From Trauma to Trust. And it was an incredibly stressful, it was traumatic, right? It was stressful, it was painful, it was sad, it was scary. And I walked through that experience with my tools, with sobriety, with a lot of consciousness. It's like I consciously walked through this trauma, PTSD portal, and it strengthened my intuition. It strengthened some of the gems I received was the power of prayer. The gem I received from tearing my knee was that our body is the truth teller, right? Our body is we have to relax and cherish our body. When we relax and cherish our body, abundance flows, prosperity flows, health flows, right? Health, wealth, all of that. And there's other gems, but I'm in this story now. But thank you for reminding me, because one of the things I want to do when I'm sharing these stories, this isn't about like trauma dumping or putting all this on you. It's really helping you understand, like, oh, there's medicine here. There's a gift here. There's always a gift. There's always medicine. And I also want to make these shorter, these videos, but I knew this one would be a little longer because the next couple days are going to be short over the weekend. So from my brother's traumatic car accident, and I'm not going to go into the details of it. He did survive. He survived, and you know, he bounced back, but he did have a traumatic brain injury, and it was difficult. It was difficult on my mom. It was difficult on him. I mean, obviously, his whole entire life was changed. But it was really, really, really stressful for my mom. And, you know, they had a codependent relationship, and she felt ultimately very responsible for everything that had happened. And they just, you know, it was just a spiral. And one of the gems I learned from the experience with my brother was the power of prayer. Because when he was on death's door, which was for about a month, 30 days, he was in the ICU. We didn't know if he would live or die for 30 days. That jacked our nervous system. And when all we had was prayer, it came through more times than I can imagine. The energy work, that's why I'm so devoted to Angel Reiki and IET, because I saw it in action. Oh my God, do I have so many stories, so many miracle stories that happened during that time. And that's really what kept me going, right? And kept me moving through it. Of course, I had a business and my children and my husband and all of that as well, but it was intense. And I'm still processing it because other things have unfolded since then. And I think because I want to keep this short, I am going to leave it at that, and I will come back and finish the story, I promise. But ultimately, today was just about the foundation of understanding why I am so passionate, so committed to this work. I mean, it is my life's work, and I believe in it because I've seen it in action. I've watched my brother's kidneys go from end-stage renal failure to fully coming online. I watched him go from wheelchair to a cane to walking freely to riding a bike in like months, and so much more. And I know it's, you know, it was the strength of his spirit as well, of course, but it was the power of the prayer, the angel love, the blessings, you know, all the miracles that came through. That divine alignment and that divine receiving and that divine surrender and all of that. So part of the challenge, this 30 days, 30 videos in 30 days, is for me to come on every single day and speak candidly, speak freely, speak unscripted, to burst up that perfectionist bubble that, you know, like the fear of looking stupid, the fear of not making sense, the fear of not finishing my thought, and just like clearing out all those fears so that I can share more of my gifts, my medicine, my alchemy, and all of that. So if you're new to me and you're just starting out with this, yesterday I talked about inviting your angels. Start by thanking your angels for their presence. Here's a beautiful prayer, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you, angels, for drawing near at this time and revealing to me what I most need to know. And then just have a moment of quiet. You know, relax your shoulders, take a cleansing breath, and let your heart open, let your mind open, let your intuition open to that message that you're asking for. So I hope this resonated. I don't know when I'm coming on this weekend because I'm going to be traveling, but I have a feeling I'm going to come on in the morning before we leave, but we'll see. And I just want to say thank you so much. You are all so beautiful. I'm so grateful for each of you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. And I'm really excited because I just got back the landing page of the Angelic Alchemist membership, and it looks really good. So I'll be dropping that link. The waitlist opens on December 15th, and I will be sharing that with you and more about how I alchemized all of my pain, the shoulder pain, the gut pain, the PTSD pain, the heartbreak pain, into gems. So until next time, have a beautiful night, beautiful Friday. Namaste.